So right now, this to me looks like nothing other than another attack on a faith-based facility.
Well, from what I understand, based on my conversations with the FBI director, all they know right now is this was an individual who hated people of the Mormon faith.
Now, a lot of people will want to jump to the conclusion and say, oh, it's somebody on the right. This person was a Trump supporter. I think that's it's unreasonable to bring that up because I don't think it has any weight here. The real issue is the attack on Christianity. Now, I would argue this. If the person was a quote unquote Republican, what Republican theology or policy does this align with? When are Republicans or MAGA against Christians? If you think about buying something for Charlie, only go to Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk's site, if they got one for him, Officer Tatum. And if you do go somewhere else to buy anything Charlie Kirk related, make sure that they're giving back to Charlie's family or they're giving to Turning Point USA. Do not go and buy stuff. I don't care how convenient it may be. Don't go and buy anything supporting Charlie with his name and stuff on it if it ain't going to Turning Point USA or his family. Everything that we do with Charlie on it, 100% of profits are going directly to his wife. And I'm going to write her a check and she could tell me where she wants the check to go. I don't care. It's up to her. But if you want to get some of the merch, right now it's in pre-order. We're literally down there printing it right now. And if you want some of it, get it now. We have allowed it to go all out, but we're going to have to make some cutoffs here and sell them out. So go and get it now. Go and buy it. Great merch, great quality, and it's going to the Kirk family. But let's jump right into it with the Michigan church fire. And a lot of controversy obviously is coming out of this. We don't have a lot of information as of yet, but the information we do know right now is that there was a veteran, a Marine veteran, fought in Afghanistan, decided to ram his truck into the building. Multiple people shot, 5 people confirmed dead, and he set the place ablaze. In my opinion, based on what I know so far and what's presented to us, because I want you guys to know, and this is why you can trust Brandon Tatum, because I'm not going to push conspiracies. I'm only going to push what investigatory information that we have, and you don't need to jump to speculation and conclusions because at some point some real information going to come out, then we can evaluate that. So right now, this to me looks like nothing other than another attack on a faith-based facility.
A crazed gunman rammed his truck into the church and started firing at these innocent Americans. And our hearts break. The president was very quick to put out a statement completely condemning this and assuring the American people that the FBI is on the scene. And I spoke with our FBI director, Kash Patel, bright and early this morning. He assured me and the American public that the FBI is currently executing multiple search warrants at the residences and the family homes of this perpetrator to try to get to the bottom of why he would commit such an act of evil. And the FBI is working with both state and local law enforcement, providing the full support of the federal government. And I just want to commend state and local law enforcement for their swift and incredible response. Local police officers were on the ground of this scene within minutes and neutralized this shooter, no doubt saving lives. And they should be commended. Our police officers are heroes, and this president will always respect them and support them.
They definitely were. They were there in 32 seconds, Caroline. What did the FBI director tell you about the shooter? What do we know?
What we know at this point in time is that he was a member of this Michigan community, that he is a veteran of our United States Armed Forces. He served in the United States Marine Corps in Iraq. His family is cooperating with the FBI, and so they are currently trying to dig in and get to the bottom of why he committed this heinous act of violence. It's unfathomable. And as the president rightfully put in his Truth Social yesterday, this appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians. And the Trump administration is fully committed to not only investigating these crimes, but prosecuting them to the fullest extent of the law, but also working very hard to prevent them, to see if there's red flags. The FBI is going to treat those as public safety emergencies and investigate them to try to prevent such violence from taking place in our country.
You know, Caroline, we had the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We had the attempted assassination on ICE officers in my hometown of Dallas. And you just obviously just referred to the church. Did this suspect leave any indication that he was trying to target people of faith? more than the obvious of him doing it to a church on a Sunday?
Well, from what I understand, based on my conversations with the FBI director, all they know right now is this was an individual who hated people of the Mormon faith. And they are trying to understand more about this, how premeditated it was, how much planning went into it, whether he left a note. All of those questions have yet to be answered, but certainly will be answered.
We've seen him shoot up the churches. We've seen him shoot up the schools that are Christian-based. And this is another example of a Christian threat or a attack on a Christian institution. Now, a lot of people will want to jump to the conclusion and say, oh, it's somebody on the right. This person was a Trump supporter. I think that's it. It's unreasonable to bring that up because I don't think it has any weight here. The real issue is the attack on Christianity. Now, I would argue this. If the person was a quote unquote Republican, what Republican theology or policy does this align with? When are Republicans or MAGA against Christians? When are Republicans and MAGA participate in mass shootings and violence? That's not even a talking point or a theory associated with Republicans. The difference between the Republican and the Democrat is that the Democrat leftist people that we see doing violence are doing it at the I would say instruction and influence from the rhetoric that's coming from the left. To say that we're fascists, to say that we need to be taken out, to say that we should be attacked in the middle of the street, to say that we're destroying people's lives through Medicare and Medicaid, saying that we're Nazis and saying that we're rounding up illegal aliens for no reason and doing all this stuff, that they're creating hatred and animosity based on their rhetoric. There is no conservative rhetoric that tells a person to go to a church and commit a heinous crime. So let's listen to the police chief on some of the investigatory information that we have so far. I wrote a clip.
Evil. This was an evil act of violence. That's exactly what this was. And this is not Grand Blanc. This does not define Grand Blanc and who we are. We are a community, and I am confident that together we're going to build a stronger community due to this incident. Now, an update. This left 5 people dead, 8 people injured. As I said, this is an evil act and does not define Grand Blanc or who we are. At this time, what we know is everyone has been accounted for. We still are in the process of clearing out that church, but at this time, everyone is accounted for.
So let's play the other link, clip 2 real quick. And this is going to be brief because we don't have much information. We wrote a clip.
Hi, Chief Rennie, Grand Blanc Township Police Department, here to give you an update on the active shooter situation that we had, and it settled just recently on today's date at 10:25 a.m. So I want to give the community just a brief update. There has been one more fatality due to gunshots. That person had died at a local hospital. As far as reunification, if you're wondering how to reunify with your family member, I want to provide you with a phone number. That phone number is 248-705-7352. That number will lead you to the Red Cross, who is on scene over there at Trillium with several people who were at the church when this incident took place, and they will be able to tell you where your family member is at. For the community, we know that you're hurting right now, and we also want to provide services to our entire Grand Blanc community, starting tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and all throughout this week at the Grand Blanc Township Police Department. You could come in if there's anything that you're thinking, anything that you want to talk about. We'll have counselors on staff. So 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. starting tomorrow at the Grand Blanc Township Police Department all week long. So I plan on giving the community an update through a press conference starting at 5 p.m. today, also at the Grand Blanc Township Police Department.
Now, let me add a little bit of context here. Not context, but let me just add a little bit of my opinion here. I think that when we find out what happened, I think that this person may have had an ought with this particular LDS church. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm assuming that that's why a person would plan and execute such a heinous crime against a specific church in the area. Now, I'm not saying any of what the person did is justified. Even if the people at this church were doing something wrong, you still don't go kill people and do all that like a coward. Now, let me just add this too, because I think it's pertinent to talk about in these scenarios. I want people to not jump to conclusions as of yet. Hold your water. When information comes out, I will be on top of it and I will let you know exactly what is going on. But it is crazy to me at this point for people to be saying we need to ban semi-automatic weapons like rifles. If you know anything about ballistics, you know anything about tactics, you know anything about people who have their mind made up. And I would argue the handgun is just as dangerous. You could put a switch on a handgun and make it fully automatic. You can bring multiple magazines. You can conceal a handgun a lot better. And a lot of times when a person is utilizing a handgun, they are more directed at firing shots than they are spraying and praying with AR-15s. And I'm telling you, that's why majority of shooting incidents that occur in the United States of America occur with handguns. It's easily concealable, and it also is more targeted. Therefore, a person will look and gun down people individually instead of spraying, because they have this false sense of accuracy and effectiveness from an AR-15 if they're not, in my opinion, that's just my opinion. I've shot AR-15, I shot a handgun. If I had to go into a situation with an AR-15 versus a handgun, now obviously I have tactical experience. I was on a SWAT team. So obviously I know how to direct the shots, and he was a Marine, but I don't know how active he was. I don't know how proficient he was. I don't know if he was in any tactical environment. Just because you're a Marine don't mean you really that good, to be quite honest. You have to have some tactical experience, but using a handgun, using a rifle, if I had to go one or the other, I have to be more methodical and more strategic and more point blank if I have a handgun versus with a rifle. If you're trying to cause mass casualties, you would just spray. That's just my 2 cents.